Welcome back everyone to another episode here at Heritage Outdoors. If you haven't already, go ahead and subscribe. That would really help me out. But what we're going to be doing today is we're going to be talking about how I set up and how you can set up your catfish pool. So my son Daniel, he just loves catfishing. If we're going to be watching any YouTube videos or anything like that, it's not bass fishing, it's not anything else. He wants to watch catfishing. So what I have for him is this is a Tiger spin cast. It's an old, it's kind of this is a Shakespeare rod. So it's the push button style. He hasn't figured out how to use a spinning reel yet. Trust me, I tried to show him. Again, he's only 8 years old, so you know that's gonna come with time. But right now he can use the push button, so this is what we're going with. All right, so this is a two-piece, putting it together. Some of the things you will need is I use circle hooks, right? These are a really good brand. This is a 3/0 circle hook. I also use slip sinkers like this. They're flat, they stay on the bottom. They don't roll around in the water if you're in a current. These are 2 ounce, and they're flat. Glass beads, or really any type of beads. One of the things I used to do before is I used to take like airsoft pellets or BBs and drill a hole through the center of it, and those are inexpensive. I mean, you can make a ton of them, all kinds of different colors and stuff. It works great. Swivels, I use a lot of swivels. I use a you can have any type of like pack of bobbers that have like the plastic pieces that come out, float bobbers or slip bobbers. Those are really great. And you can use a lot of different type of line for like your leader. I use mono. This is big game mono. This is 40 pound. That's what I use. And if you don't already have any, I really suggest you getting a this is P-line, but this is a really neat multi-use plier set. It's got a hook in the front, kind of like to help you just grab hold of stuff. It's got different holes there for like if you're using split shot sinkers without damaging your line. And it's got a really neat like wire cutter that's right there, or not wire cutter, but your line cutter. So that's what I'm using this for, and to help tighten my line when I'm snugging it down after I make my knot. So those are the tools that I'm using. All right, so let's go ahead and get this thing rigged up. All right, so now we are ready. We are now ready to go ahead and get this started. So I'm just putting this down on the ground and I'm getting this ready. So what I'm going to be doing is, at this point, I am going to be taking one of the slip sinkers, right? And I'm going to be feeding this, like the narrower end, I'm going to be feeding that on the main line first. All right, so now that is on. Now I'm going to take one of these glass beads, and that is now on my line. All right, so if you can't see that, it's because it's like right in front of my not so pretty face. All right, now I am taking one of these swivels, and you really want like a larger size. This is these are rated for up to 130 pounds, so that's a really good swivel, especially if you're doing some catfishing. You might get snagged on something. You do not want your swivel to give out. So what I'm doing now is I'm now going to be throwing on a polymer knot. That's what I use a lot of, especially when I'm going with heavier, like just if I'm doing heavy, any type of heavy fishing. Polymer knot is probably one of my main knots that I use, and I'll do a video soon on how I do that. It's real easy to use. I've already taught my kids how to do that because I'm not going to be spending every time I take them out fishing tying their knots. I'm not doing it. Put in your line.
Dad, I got one of those toys.
All right.
Got one of those toys.
Oh yeah, that's whose toy is that? Woodrow's?
Wood.
All right, let's go on over there. All right. Just pulling this, not too tight, but just pretty. That's just pretty. It's a pretty knot. You guys can't see it from my angle, but that is just pretty. Right now I'm trimming this up. Hey bud, trimming this up for you.
Trim what up?
Hey, get away from the, hey. Carson.
Yeah?
Thank you very much.
You're trimming what up?
I'm gonna get back here. I'm gonna show you how you can set up your catfish rod.
It's a catfish rod?
Yeah, this is a catfish rod. Pretty excited about it?
Yeah.
What type of fishing do you like more than anything?
Catfishing.
Catfishing. Have you caught a catfish yet?
Only one.
Only one?
Yeah.
All right, so now we got this set up. So the reason I use the glass bead is so when it comes down, let's say your sinker comes down, you go to throw this, I do not want the sinker damaging my knot at all. So this bead is there to protect the knot at the end of the swivel, and that's why I use the glass bead there. All right, so now we're going to get set up on the other end of everything. All right, so all I'm doing, I'm going to take a bit of line here. Go ahead and hand me these pliers. All right, I'm just probably wasting a lot of line, but that's okay. I'm just taking a good piece there. You need enough for your line or your knot. So I'm just cutting that off. I leave the rubber band on it. Just that way it helps just hold the line. But it's not working on that particular time. There you go. There's that. All right, so here's my mono, 40-pound mono line. You want to go ahead and let's open these hooks. Brand new. I just bought these for catfishing, bud. You excited about it? Let's just take these bad boys out. It's a small one, but it'll work. Alright, so this is a Snell Knot. And one of the guys who taught me about the Snail Knot, he's already been featured in one of the videos. His name is Keith Scott. He's the one who taught me this. I use polymer knot. You don't want to know what I used previous to that. It was really sad and pathetic. There's a spider on that end, so I didn't want that in the video. So what you do is basically take your hook, you take the end of your line here, and you run it through. Holding it. I'm not gonna do a training video on that yet, so wrap it around several times. Just make it all nice and pretty. Alright. Now I'm taking this into my line. Give me that pliers. Alright, thanks, bud.
Hey, are you making? No, don't put mud in water.
Hey, Cars. Hey, let's not be fighting over there. So you snug that down, and there's your nice, pretty knot right there. Alright, real neat, real neat. Snug it down. Now all I got to do is just trim the line up on this end. I'm just about ready to start. But hey, get off the table. 3. All right, so now I want, let's get 2 of these out. There's a couple reasons why I'm getting 2 glass beads out of this one, and I will explain that to you. So after I put the hook on, right, I'm going to be putting a glass bead on, following the hook, right? So that's going down. All right, now let's go ahead and give me that slip bobber. Right. So this particular time, I'm going big in first. Yeah, big in. So the hole on these, right? If you didn't, the hook would go up into the slip bobber, and you would basically be throwing your line out for nothing. You wouldn't be able to get a good hook in the fish at all. So now I'm throwing in another glass bead because, again, I don't want the bobber to be on the other end where it's stuck over the swivel. So there you go. So theoretically, you throw your line out. Oh, hold on. I'm getting ahead of myself. All right. So here I got about a good 2.5 foot.
Hey, get out of the water again. Turn it off.
I'm going to give a little bit more. Possibly too much. So I'm just doing like just a standard, like I believe this is an overhand knot. I believe.
Evie.
Right?
Come put this away.
Just making that. So there's that. Now all I got to do is cut off the excess. I'm going to hold that in. Ready? Pull a little bit. Boop. There you go. All right. Now this is what's so awesome about this particular, I mean, you could set up multiple different like size leaders. You can get 18, you can get 12, you can get 2 foot, just depending on how deep you're wanting to be fishing. So you take this end and you put it on through the end of your swivel on your main line. Okay, so now you I open the that part there. I don't know what it's called. I'm drawing a blank. Right, and you just bring the rest of your line through, hook and all that. And you just pull it tight, not like super tight, but you just snug it up. And there you go. So you have this is your setup. It's ready to go right now. We can fish. And let's say you wanted to fish a little deeper, whatever. What you got to do is push this through, break this to open up, and all you do is pull this through. And you can grab your different size length leader. You can throw that on real quick. It's all right, ready to go. All right, snug it down, ready to go. So in theory, and as I've fished this before at a lot of rivers and stuff, the sinker, you throw that out, it of course takes your bait to the bottom. The bobber raises your bait up, right, to however far off the ground you're wanting to fish, and it stays there. And I use the circle hooks because all I have to do is crank down and start reeling. All right, so that is my catfish setup. This is something you could be doing too, whether you're fishing a pond, whether you're fishing a river, that type of stuff. Just know, like, that's why I use these flat sinkers, these flat slip sinkers, is for river fishing. Depending on the current, you might need a heavier size sinker. This is a 2 ounce. It does fairly well at a lot of the places I do fish. Now, if you're going to be fishing at some like spillways that really pump out the water, I've seen people go as high as like 4, 5, 6 ounce sinkers. And again, make sure you got a rod that's big enough to hold that. Have a good one. I'll see you next time. What do you think, bud? You don't know? Ready to do some catfishing?
Running.
Huh? Yeah, it's still running.
Yeah, I want to go catfish
Ready to go?
fishing.
What are you doing with the line? Get that away from your face.
I want to go cat.
You want to go catfishing too? What happened to the bass?